So that was the job I felt I had to do when I started, thought Sam just steps away from Mount Doom. To help Mr. Frodo to the last step and die with him? Well, if that is the job, then I must do it. But I would dearly like to see Bywater again and Rosie Cotton and her brothers and the Gaffer Marigold and all. I can't think somehow that Gandalf would have sent Mr. Frodo on this errand if there hadn't been any hope of his ever coming back at all. Sam Gamgee's wife, Rosie Cotton of Bywater, was the daughter of Tolman Cotton and Lily Brown, and it is assumed that they have always been close to the Gamgees. She had 4 siblings, Tom, Jolly, Nick, and Nibs. They would swim and paddle in the Bywater Pool with Sam and his siblings. When Rosie found out that Sam would leave the Shire for Crickhollow, it was said she was not pleased, but she would wait patiently. It seemed she didn't like my going abroad at all, poor lass, but as I hadn't spoken, she couldn't say so. And I didn't speak because I had a job to do at first. But now I have spoken, and she says, "Well, you've wasted a year, so why wait longer?" "Wasted," I says. "I wouldn't call it that." Still, I see what she means. To which he would cite feeling torn in two. Wanting to stay loyal with Frodo, but also wanting to be with Rosie and their new family. After the fall of Sauron, Sam would arrive home with the hobbits, only to find that Bagshot Road was indeed dug up, though that was something that he saw in Lothlorien through the mirror of Galadriel. That almost caused him to run home then and there. However, even the vision in the mirror didn't prepare him for this event, as Farmer Khan would show a battered Bag End and Bagshot Row. Meanwhile, the Battle of Bywater occurred in the scouring of the Shire with the hobbits at war with the ruffians. He and Frodo would stay at the Cottons in Bywater before Bag End and Bagshot Row were restored. Sam and Rosie would wed on May 1st, 3020 of the Third Age, and moved to Bag End with Frodo before the last ships sailed. They had their first child and daughter, Eleanor the Fair, on March 25th, 3021 of the Third Age. 6 years later, Will Whitfoot would resign and Sam would be the mayor of the Shire. He and Rosie would go on to have 12 more children, 4 whom were named after old friends. Sam would later become the mayor 6 more times before resigning for good on 55 of the Fourth Age at the Free Fair on the White Downs. Sam and Rosie would ride with their daughter Eleanor to Gondor for a year after the third time. Rosie passed on 61 of the Fourth Age on Mid-Year's Day at the age of 98, after which Sam would go to the Undying Lands on September 22nd, 61 of the Fourth Age. While Rosie made her first and more appearances in the beginning of the films, we do not see much of her in the books until Sam starts to think of her and her memories steps away from Mount Doom. Furthermore, there are many different types of love stories Tolkien had in his legendarium, in which he explores the different types of love he includes, with Sam and Rosie's simple, rustic love as hobbits being compared to Aragorn and Arwen's noble love, since the latter involved Aragorn becoming the king of Gondor and Arnor. Since we now try to deal with ordinary life, springing up ever unquenched under the trample of world policies and events, there are love stories touched in, or love in different modes, wholly absent from The Hobbit. But the highest love story, that of Aragorn and Arwen, Elrond's daughter, is only alluded to as a known thing. It is told elsewhere in a short tale of Aragorn and Arwen and Domio. I think the simple rustic love of Sam and his Rosie, nowhere elaborated, is absolutely essential to the study of his, the chief hero's character, and to the theme of the relation of ordinary life, breathing, eating, working, begetting, and quests, sacrifice, causes, and the longing for elves and sheer beauty. But I will say no more, nor defend the theme of mistaken love seen in Éowyn and her first love for Aragorn. I do not feel much can now be done to heal the faults of this large and much-embracing tale, or to make it publishable, if it is not so now. Sam's love for Rosie was also being integrated into his character and persona throughout the trilogy, while the love story of Aragorn and Arwen was told elsewhere in a short tale, mostly relegated to the appendices in the books, but also that a possibility of a love between Aragorn and Éowyn was initially considered, which is now seen as a theme of mistaken love now in Lord of the Rings.